Hey, welcome to Ear Shifter. He's Sean Capstick.
And he's Renee Rouleau. And Renee, tell us, why are we here?
Sean, we do this because basically we want to introduce people to bands that we feel were kind of overlooked, maybe underplayed. And then on the other side of that, if you're a fan of said band, then guess what? You're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I think this band was not overlooked back in the day. They were pretty influential and pretty popular. But I like them a lot, Renee.
Yeah, and says you, because again, you have cool friends. I love my friends. They are cool too. But I guarantee you that not one of them would know who Dinosaur Jr. is, or Dinosaur for that matter.
Well, that's too bad. So maybe you get your friends to listen, and I'll tell them all about how great Dinosaur Jr. was and is to this day.
Yeah.
Okay, so before Dinosaur Jr., they're a heavy, influential band through the 80s and the 90s. They're still around today. I'll talk about when I saw them just recently. But Renee, when we lived together, I was peak Dinosaur Jr. This was like kind of the end of records. We had a record player. We had a CD player. I was listening to Dinosaur Jr. a lot, right? What do you remember about why I like them so much?
Wow. Okay. So first of all, I seem to be blanking out. I don't remember that. I do remember you 100% introducing me to Dinosaur Jr. And I do like Dinosaur Jr., like quite a few of the songs. I don't remember that peak Dinosaur Jr. feeling that you had, but I did want to ask you, what makes you like Dinosaur Jr.? Is it the lyrics? Is it? No, it's not.
No, I mean, the lyrics are good, but it's not poetry that they're singing about. I mean, the lyrics fit into the music and the lyrics go together. It's more how the loudness of the band and the lyrics fit together. So it's more of a feeling that I get from Dinosaur Jr. that made me like them so much.
Oh, interesting. But also, I mean, they are kind of like classic Rocky in a way, right?
They brought the guitar solo back.
They did, single-handedly. I swear to God. Like one of them, you shared with me the besties list, and one of them, I'm like, is he trolling me again? Because like this is the longest guitar solo I have heard in a long time.
It's J Mascis, the singer and the guitarist of the band, is a bit of a noodler. I think there's some lists that list him as one of the best top 100, top 10 guitarists of all time.
Wow.
And yeah, he brought the guitar back to independent music. So let's talk about that a little bit more then in terms of how they started and what they were doing. So J Mascis and Lou Barlow and Murph, their drummer, they met in the early 80s. Lou Barlow met this other guy, Scott Helland, and the story goes they were at an Oi. Remember Oi Punk?
I mean, I know Oi Punk. Is Oi a special meeting of Ois?
No. I think an Oi singles bin at a local record shop. And so they said they're going to form a band. And so they put a flyer out and said they were looking for musicians influenced by Antipasti, another punk band, Discharge, and a drummer who wanted to play fast. So J Mascis responded to the flyer. The story goes that his dad drove him to Lou Barlow's house. So that's cute, right?
Yeah.
Probably too young to drive.
Yeah, like how old is he at this point? He's in high school, right?
This is in 82. So they, like you do the math. They're contemporaries of ours, right?
Okay.
So they would be in high school.
Yeah, mid-high school.
Yeah. And so they formed a hardcore band called Deep Wound in 1982. Lou Barlow was playing guitar. J Mascis was on the drums. They had a vocalist that they kicked out right away because he was too political. And that Helen guy was on bass. They recorded an album. Their manager, Gerard Kosloy, went on to form Homestead Records. And the band were known for increasingly fast, hardcore that bordered on noise. So we're not going to hear any Deep Wound, but they do often play one of their Deep Wound songs in their
like live?
set list today.
Live. Oh, yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it is kind of cool. Yeah. So Deep Wound ended in 84. Mascis switched from drums to guitar, and Lou switched to the bass. And they wanted to write more melodic, slower, and heavier music. They were definitely, this is 84, so they were definitely under the influence of the Meat Puppets at this time. And the Dream Syndicate that we talked about in the last episode.
Yep.
That were both melodic, different sounding, but had extensive use of guitars and feedback and noise that you love. For more on the Meat Puppets, it's season 1, episode 11. So they recruited Murph on drums, and they formed a new band called Dinosaur.
Right. Can I just skip a beat? Because I'm so curious, because I did see that they had to change their name due to legal reasons, but why did they just go, okay, we'll just add Junior at the end? I think it's awesome, but I'm just wondering how that went down. Do we know?
Well, because the Dinosaur band, were rock dinosaurs. So this was a San Francisco-based band with Jefferson Airplane, Electric Joe and the Fish, and other 60s rockers.
Wow.
So they reformed as a super group.
Yeah.
And they called themselves Dinosaur, and they sued this young dinosaur. So why wouldn't you say Dinosaur Jr.?
Okay. I quite like that. That's kind of awesome.
So their first album was called Dinosaur.
Yeah.
It was on Homestead Records. And I don't want to play anything of that. It was an interesting album. But
okay. Well, I mean, not just skip a beat, but like they have 10 albums, 10 studio albums. There's a lot to go through here.
There's a lot to go through. So let's go to they signed with SST again.
Yes.
The quintessential independent record label at that time that again Meat Puppets were on.
Do you remember who else?
Sonic Youth.
Okay.
I think Sonic Youth were on there. I don't know.
That would make sense.
Listen to Firehose, the Minutemen.
Right.
Listen to the Meat Puppets episode. We go through them all.
Yeah, that's right.
And their influence, they started the popularization of alternative rock, right? So another Boston band, the Pixies, they popularized this loud soft that we love here at Ear Shifter. They're loud, but I think what's beautiful about Dinosaur Jr. is their harmonies, and the harmonies that aren't right over the top, but come through the noise. And as we said, they made guitar solos cool. They signed to a major record label. They changed the 90s. They had an acrimonious split. They stopped entirely for 10 years from 97 to 2006. And the 4 major record labels that were before that, they're basically a one-person band with Jay dismissing Lou and Murph, and he was playing all the parts on all of those records.
Wow. Okay.
But they're back as the original trio, and I think they're still rocking.
And I think that's great. Is Murph on drums?
Yep, Murph's back on drums. Yeah,
I did read some stuff about J Mascis being a bit of a control freak when it came to the drums. And that set Murph off.
We'll get into that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Because, he was a drummer.
Yeah.
He was a control freak for sure. But let me tell you that story. And I want to tell you in reverse based on the 3 times that I've seen them live with my family.
With your family, amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be able to do that. So in reverse, these last few episodes, we've talked about the Sky Blue Sky, the Wilco Festival. So Dinosaur Jr. played on the last night. They came out and they were elder statesmen. They were a legacy act, but they were still relevant and virile. Their first 2 songs were from their first and their latest album. So, that's pretty cool. Like they're going to span their career. That's great. And before they launched into the first song, Lou Barlow screamed the best parts of Don't. So that's on their second album. We'll talk about it.
Yep.
And he's screaming, "Why don't you like me?" And I like Lou Barlow a lot. I like his songs. So it's pretty cool to start that. There's a couple other songs that start with screaming. And they were definitely a band, right? I was happy for them. They made me smile. They still rock. And it was great that I could enjoy that with my wife. So the old and new sounded great. It's funny, Jay needed some prompts for some of the new songs. And as a man of a certain age, his prompts were written out in cardboard in large letters on his monitors. But he knew all the hits and it was great. And what's kind of nice is that Wilco played, they closed out the festival, and later the night, Jay joined them on stage to play an extended version of Cortez the Killer, which was pretty fun, that Neil Young song.
Yeah, obviously both fans of Neil Young, for sure.
Came Dancing Across the Water, man. And Lou came out for a California Stars sing-along that ended the night.
Nice.
It was cute. Okay, so let's hear The Garden from their latest release in 2001. The album Swept It Into Space, and this was the second song they played.
Oh, sorry. Which album is this?
Sweep It Into Space.
Sweep It Into Space. And is that like early?
No, that's their latest in 2001.
That's their latest. Okay,
yeah, so that's their most recent album.
My bad, folks. All right, let's listen. Wow. So I didn't know the discography, and I heard this song and I was like, that's a solid song. And so that's amazing that that's off their last album. And I love it because it's like almost pretty. It's melodic and I really enjoyed it. It's a very pretty song.
And this is one that Lou Barlow sings, right? So it's a nice song. It was good in concert. And that album's a good solid album. Like it's a great album. They, going backwards in time. So that album was 21. And then in 2016, they released an album, Give a Glimpse of What You're Not. 2012.
Great album titles, by the way. Like, honestly, just great album titles.
They've got and all of these are the cartoons. They've moved into the album covers are drawn art, very surreal. I Bet on the Sky in 2012, and Farm, which is Ents carrying people, just like Lord of the Rings, in 2009, and then Beyond. So, but before we talk in Beyond in 2007, and these are all the original lineup. So they reformed in 2007. And so let's talk about that in the context of a rock show. So this rock show we talked about before. This is the 2013 Riot Fest in Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
And so we talked about this on our Weaker Than episode. And I told you, I was so happy for the entire day. But
you were with Evan, right?
I was with Evan. Ben was supposed to come. He had a terrible fever and couldn't make it. This was a family event, right? We were going as a family.
Oh, so Deanne was there too?
Deanne had to take care of
I see.
Our sickly son. And someone had to take our other son to the rock show. So really, I like...
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice, yeah.
That's what dads do.
That's, it's a great job.
Yeah.
So, do you remember from the Weaker Thans episode in episode 5 who was there? It
was crazy. I was mad. The Stooges. The Stooges were there.
The Replacements. The Weaker Thans. It was great. The Beach House.
Yeah, Beach House. Yeah. Love Beach House. Yeah. Insane.
That was great. I was so happy to see the band again. I didn't expect that I'd see them as a full band again, right? Because of all that acrimonious breakup that we'll get to, foreshadowing. So let's hear Almost Ready from the 2007 album Beyond.
All right, let's hear it.
Find the truth.
Okay, I like that song too, right? That song is fun. It's playful. I love that most of the lyrics are around "I'm almost ready," because don't we all feel that sometimes? We're almost ready, but we're not really just ready for whatever that is that we should be ready for, but we're almost ready.
Almost ready. And so you mentioned the lyricism. That's like he describes a feeling in the songs, and the music supports that feeling. And yeah, that's, and he has a good turn of phrase often with the feeling, but like that's what I like about the songs, right? They're bang and they're emotional. The difference between conventional rock and roll and alternative rock and roll, it's not that different. Like listen to his guitars. It's rocking.
Yeah.
So I was at a cool house back in Waterloo, back in, Dinosaur Jr. days, Fire Hose days. And the host, the owner of the house, was playing the alternative rock, the rock we played on the college radio station. And my roommate, Craig Gonzalez, who was in a Max Webster cover band.
Ooh, awesome.
He was a little older than us. So he had raced dirt bikes, was in a Max Webster cover band. He turned to me and said, this is just rock. The lyrics are different and it's a little bit different time signature, but this is just rock. And I'm like, yeah, isn't it good? And he goes, yeah, it is really good. And I think he surprised himself.
Right.
Surprised certainly the host that I had a very clear rocking friend, not my cool alternative college radio persona. And it was great. But the reason that I picked that song is because I remember buying the CD when it came out in 2007, maybe one of the last CDs we bought. So Dinosaur Jr. has been there for records, CDs, streaming, right? So this was one of the last CDs, and I was so excited to buy it because they had great press and the band had reformed.
Right. So this is their comeback album,
This
so to
is
speak.
their comeback album as the original lineup.
Okay. And it didn't disappoint.
It didn't
because sometimes it can.
Yeah, no.
That's awesome.
A nice, as you say, it's a nice solid. And he comes back with like where they left off. Not that, the solo stuff was okay. And let's talk about the solo stuff right now, right? Again, going backwards. The previous 4 albums starting from 1997, a 10-year hiatus back, were on Sire Records, right? So Blanco de Negro, I think that was the imprint. They had, they epitomized, they signed a major label deal, right? So it's hard to overstate their influence in the 90s, how popular those albums were and how influential, right? They defined so many sounds.
In that scene. One could say they were almost seminal.
We'll get to their seminal stage.
All right.
Don't you throw around that S word yet.
All right.
So, how influential they were. Jay produced the first 2 Buffalo Tom albums.
Oh, I love Buffalo Tom.
Yeah, that UMass Amherst sound, right? Where the Pixies were from. So he was there starting the sound. He was a producer. He hasn't produced too many things, but what he's produced is pretty cool. Fire Hose. He produced Cool Thing by Sonic Youth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice.
I think that's could be their last great song.
Yeah.
Kim Gordon and Chuck D. When he's saying,
nice.
When she's like, cool thing, will you save us from white male corporate oppression? And Chuck's like, word. Just like in the background. That's a good song.
It's a good song. It's a solid song. I do know
Jay.
that one for sure.
So, he knew Thurston Moore. So supposedly he was hanging out with Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth. And some guy, Kurt Cobain, in New York City said, I'm looking for another guitarist. And this would have been 1990. So after Bleach, before that next album, and asked Jay to join his band.
Oh, really? And Jay said, nuh-uh.
Jay probably ignored it. He's a very tacturian. He's very like, yeah, whatever. And that's one of their better songs. Whatever's cool with me. Like just like that came out in an interview decades later that, oh yeah, he asked me, but I didn't really think it was that important. Now, another almost band where Jay said, yes, he would join is Doug Marsh from
Built to Spill.
So when Built to Spill went to Warner Brothers in 95, when they jumped to the major label, Doug didn't have a band, right? Like that band had disappeared and he hadn't played for a little while. So he invited Jay to play drums and he said, okay. But it was Doug that was so intimidated, the story goes, about bossing J Mascis around on drums. So he never did it. And then their first album was Perfect From Now On. So that would have been pretty cool if J Mascis was playing drums on that. I don't know if it would have made it any better or not, but pretty good album. And then I mentioned the Firehouse Connection, and he played on the Mike Watt album Against the 70s that we've talked about in the past. So from that era, Renee, let's hear their most famous song, I Feel the Pain. And
let's hear that one.
Without a Sound album.
Excellent. Let's hear it. Okay, so the deal is, the way this works is whoever's doing the band for the episode, they pre-share kind of besties playlist so that the other person can get familiar with the band again, etc.
And if you want to hear it, it's on our website and a link.
It's actually on our Spotify. Yeah, exactly. So you guys can listen if you want. But anyway, so I was listening to this, and I was literally getting mad, going, "Oh my God, he didn't put on the song that everyone knows almost because it's Sean." And he's like, "No, I'm not going to do that. It's got to be songs under a rock." But then I was mistaken, and he did put this song on, and I'm so glad because the song is so great.
It is. It's got a great feels, and Jay's very pithy on this because I think that other than the chorus, there may be 4 other lines where he talks about feeling the pain in a different way and then goes back to the chorus. So yeah, this is a very pithy song in terms of his lyricism, but a great one.
It is a great one. And the other one, I think people are in the scene that we're kind of talking about, other than my friends, which are not in the scene. I think The Wagon is also probably the second most popular common song of Dinosaur Jr.'s. And I love that one too.
Oh, and on The Wagon, there's like, I Live for That Look. Yeah, he's got so many great songs. Star Choppin', amazing. Green Mind, like it's all good.
Yeah, Pieces.
We don't have time to play them all.
No,
Listen to our playlist. Yeah. Dive into the band, dear listeners. It's a solid record collection. Yeah. So let's keep going backwards.
Oh, actually, I have a question though.
Okay.
And not to put you on the spot, but do you have a fave album of theirs?
Oh, no.
Ooh,
because depending on the day, it's bug or freak scenes. So we'll get to those.
Okay. All right.
Of that era, I think The Wagon, because The Wagon is such a great song. The Green Mind. Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah.
That's, all right, cool.
Yeah. Okay. So in the years they were apart, they were very active, right? Murph was a session drummer. He drummed with the Lemonheads. He played with some of Jay's bands, his side bands. J Mascis, he played on the Saturday Night Live orchestra for one. Sat in just
really?
Like randomly, like in 2000. And he formed J Mascis and the Fog. He played with the Stooges.
Oh, very cool.
He sat in before the Stooges reformed with the Ashton brothers. He was a guitarist, and they played the Stooges song with Mike Watt. He was on the Ciccone Youth album. He played on, that's the album by Sonic Youth that was banned for a long time.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So, and that's a pretty good album too. He was, he played on the 2007 issue of I Want to Be Your Dog by the Stooges. Lou was active as well. In some ways, became more of a critically acclaimed artist than maybe some of the popularity that Jay and those bands had. He was involved in movies. He did a soundtrack to the movie Kids. Remember that?
I do
95?
remember that movie. Very controversial movie. Very good movie.
Very good movie. And so the hit song that came out of that was Natural One. So that was Lou Barlow as Folk Implosion. And yeah, I listened to that and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty cool song. He went through a whole bunch of, they're very similar in terms of his musical style. Folk Implosion, Deluxe Folk Implosion, New Folk Implosion, Sebado, his main vehicle and then Centrino, which is his lo-fi home recording tapes, and his 96 album, Harmacy by Sebado. My wife wore this CD out.
Wow.
It was, when I was playing this, I'm like, do you remember this album? And she goes, oh yeah. And I did some research. So it obviously had faded out of her CD playing
rotation.
In the car rotation by the boys were old enough to remember the songs that they were hearing because they have no recollection of that. But oh yeah, we played that along. And that's a great album. We listened to that playing on this. So let's go backwards one more. My first time I saw them, and this is Wikipedia's heaven, as according to Nick Cave. The Setlist FM is so useful for bringing back so many memories.
I agree.
So I can tell you, it was at the end of March 31st in 1989.
Okay, where'd they play?
Lee's Palace.
Okay, so folks, the Lee's Palace capacity is, I don't know, 500, 800?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
500, 800, somewhere in there.
Yeah, probably 800. Yeah. Less than 1,000.
Yeah, for sure.
And so this is when I was very confident in my taste. I was dating my future wife at the time. I had tickets to go see Dinosaur Jr. I went and bought them probably at the Record Peddler where you had to go buy physical records. So I'm like, I'm going to go buy these. I think I got
Screw you, Ticketmaster.
It was easier back then, but a lot harder to get the tickets. But yeah, you didn't have to wait in line on virtual lineup.
And you'd pay $2 versus $15.
Yes. And you could buy a record while you were there.
Yeah, true.
So I wasn't cool enough to see them at the Cameron House in 87.
Whoa, so
that would have been a cool. So that was 2 years before they were playing. The Cameron House would have sat 100 people, maybe 150
at best,
if they were standing. We went to the Cameron House a lot. I loved the Cameron House.
Yep.
But there was no way I was going to miss this show. Place was packed, probably, totally oversold, who were also confident in their taste and wearing black leather. Like it was like everybody there knew that they were going to see something pretty cool. And all Jay kept saying was, turn off the lights, turn off the lights. So the band played and the stage lights came on and he just kept saying, turn off the lights. So this was when he became a curmudgeon early in his career. They blasted through the songs.
Did they turn off the lights?
Yeah, they turned off all the lights.
So you couldn't see them?
No, but it sounded amazing. But
all right.
I mean, there was enough light that, like maybe, I don't know, I wasn't worried at that point for any safety things. So they must have had some light. It wasn't pitch black.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was no lights on them. So we left with our ears ringing and knowing that we witnessed something special. So these are my two first favorite Dinosaur Jr., bar none. So they were touring Bug and just released You're Living All Over Me. So let's hear Freak Scene off Bug.
All right, let's hear it.
So fucked, I can't believe it. If there's a way I wish we'd see it. How it could work, just can't conceive it. But what I'm asked is just to leave it. Sometimes I don't thrill you. Sometimes I think I'll kill you. Just don't let me fuck up, will you? 'Cause when I need a friend, it's still you. What a mess.
Okay, so there's Jay's lyricism at its best. So fucked, I can't believe it. If there's a way, I wish I'd see it. Don't let me fuck up, will you? I'm missing a couple lines because when I need a friend, it's still you. If that's not
It's nice.
80s angst love, I don't know what there is. And it's loud, and they were loud, but he plays over top of the drumming, and there's like a purity that comes through in the loudness in that song. The harmonies in that song, I think, are really sweet, even though it's very, very loud.
Nice. And you saw that one live.
Yeah, I think they've played it every time. Although Jay says that's his least favorite album of that, but the song "Freak Scene's" pretty good. So then the record before that, their second record, first on SST, is called "You're Living All Over Me."
What an amazing album title. I just love that phrase. It's so cool.
It's, again, angsty, edgy. Yeah, that we could, if we had pure copyright issues and all day, I would like to just play that entire album for all of our listeners, because it is solid right from the start to the finish, and it gets better because the last couple songs Lou sings, and they're just such a departure. You can tell where Subado was going to come from that. It's just a great album. So let's hear, which one do you want to hear? Do you want to hear, let's see, In a Jar.
In a Jar. Let's hear it. In a Jar.
I'll be grazing by your window. Please come pat me on the head. Just wanna find out what you're nice to me for. When I look up, don't think I don't know about all the scabs you dread. It's hard to stomach the gore. I know you don't have the patience to peel them off no more. In a jar where you fed me, all I could do was lick your hand. In a jar, the scars are plain to see. I hope somehow you'll know I understand.
Okay, so that's where the bass line is so great. So Lou doesn't play a bass conventionally. Like, he plays a bass like Johnny Ramone played his guitar, slung super low, playing way up above the pickups, and just boom, boom, boom. And again, such a great, like, loud, and then the guitar comes up, and it's almost like you could hear da 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 da. So those songs are great. Okay, so one more bonus concert memory.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so back to the present day, the Wilco Festival. So, Renee, do you remember when cover tribute CDs were a big thing?
I do, but do you remember what I said about covers?
You've said many things about covers. You like them when they make them their own.
That's right. Exactly. Like, don't freaking karaoke the thing. Like, make it, like, put your brand or your band on that cover. Like, make it yours.
So you didn't like any of the Red Hot and Blue covers?
I am familiar with what you're talking about, and I don't remember any of them really hitting me hard.
The reason I mention it is because in MJ Lenderman's set, Jay came out and they sang a cover of Neil Young's Lot of Love. And so why this is important, getting back to those tribute CDs. So the best tribute CD that I ever owned, I don't even know if you can get it on streaming, was 1989 tribute CD called The Bridge, which was to raise money for the school that Neil Young's son, well, his wife really did all the work for their autistic child. So on that tribute album, the Pixies that we talked about, Winter Long. Sonic Youth did Computer Age, which I think is that whole trans album, the 82 experimental synthesizer album that Neil put out. I think that was pretty good.
Yeah.
The Flaming Lips, After the Gold Rush. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Helpless, one of the best covers ever. Soul Asylum, Barstool Blues, Henry Kaiser, Needle and the Damage Done. So Psychic TV could go on. Only Love Can Break Your Heart. So Dinosaur Jr. did a 2-minute version of the song Lot of Love, and it was very, very disrespectful. I'm sure they're like, well, Dinosaur Jr. is really popular. We'll keep them on, even though the song was disrespectful.
Why? How was it? Can you go into that a little bit? Like, how was it disrespectful?
There was no melody. They just played and J Mascis' Lot of Love, gonna take a lot of love. And then
almost sarcastic.
It was, I forgive them now. And I'm sure it helped with the tribute sales, but maybe Jay was just acting out of spite and anger, because up until that point, he'd been constantly compared to Neil Young in terms of his nasal voice, guitar solos, and
I thought he liked Neil Young.
I think he likes, but I wouldn't want to just be constantly compared to Neil Young if you're trying to make your own thing. So maybe he was taking out a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you could do worse.
Yes. And when he came out and sang Lot of Love with MJ, it was pretty good.
It was much better.
It was much better. It was a reverential, good version, made it their own of that great song.
Yeah.
But let's hear Dinosaur Jr.'s best cover.
I am in full agreement here.
Okay, they did do, I can't find it, it's not on streaming service, but on a B-side of one of their, like that Bug or Freak Scene, they do a cover version of Peter Frampton's I Want You to Show Me the Way.
Awesome. I had that album, man. I had that album. Jesus Christ.
Now, I didn't, because again, you were way cooler than me.
I didn't have Kiss Army. I didn't have Peter Frampton. There is no cool flex here. I don't know why I had that album, but I did.
When he says, I see you on the street, did Peter Frampton say, and I want to kill your friends?
I'm not sure. Are we into Mondegreens again?
No. In the cover, it's not a Mongreen. I'm pretty sure I'm listening to that. It's been a long time since I've heard it, but I'm pretty sure in Dinosaur Jr.'s version, they do say, I see you on the street and I want to kill your friends.
That's awesome.
And I want you to show me the way.
That's like Sid Vicious's My Way, where he's like, I killed a cat.
Yeah. So what's their best cover version, Renee?
Just Like Heaven. The Cure's Just Like Heaven. My God, when I heard this, I was like, that is awesome. That is totally taking that song and making it their own.
They do make it their own. So let's hear the last half of that song.
All right, let's do it.
Must have been asleep for days. I'm moving left, breathing in. I opened up my eyes and found myself alone above the raging sea. Stole the only girl I love, I drowned her deep inside of me.
Okay, that end, the first time I heard that, I actually had to go check to make sure everything was okay, because that end is so abrupt and so awesome.
And that's so Dinosaur Jr. the screaming. Oh.
Yeah, so good. The other thing I want to say is I was listening to your besties playlist that you shared with me, and it was doing something, and I heard Pieces, and I thought Pieces, the beginning, I thought I was listening to their cover of Just Like Heaven, because the opening to Pieces sounds just like Heaven.
Okay, Pieces from Farm. Yeah, I didn't put two and two together, but yeah, I'll go back and listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
So I hope Neil Young's wife has forgiven Dinosaur Jr. for doing such a bad cover. They have certainly forgiven each other for that. And I think it's interesting. You know, I just went and got a few quotes from before and after the breakup. J Mascis doesn't talk, right? Like he's very stoic. You know, he didn't care about the scene. He just wanted to play music. So when he was asked about the breakup, he said, I really didn't get what Lou was doing back then. It didn't fit what I heard for the band. You know, so, you know, he didn't care. And Lou Barlow was acutely aware of the scene, right? Like his, 91, he's got a song called Gimme Indie Rock, where he takes the piss out of what was happening in 91. But then, you know, indie rock in 91 was pretty good. So it's ironic, but he knew there was a scene and, you know, was aware of it. So he says, I was angry all the time. I didn't know how to talk to Jay and he didn't talk at all. And Murph was like, they were scared of each other. And he's saying back then, once they stopped doing that, everything else would be easy. So about the reunion, Murph says, I knew if they were in the same room long enough, they'd remember why it worked.
Oh, that's nice.
And Lou says, I built him up as this monster in my head. And then I saw him and he was just Jay. He forgave those things.
Nice. So you think it comes up to, you know, chalk it up to youth, inexperience,
forgiveness. Like Jay, you know, Jay's just saying he thought it'd be good to play with him again, and he didn't think about it too much. So they were young, they were driven. Jay's certainly driven. He created a sound. I think Lou was a big part of that sound, and Murph was a big part of that sound, but he pushed them away because he wanted control. And now they've been together for close to 20 years again now, right? So, you know, and they're better together. I think that's great.
So question for you. If J Mascis is a man of few words, what was his stage presence like? Did he talk between songs or just one song after another?
You would really hate his stage presence. He sits there. He doesn't switch guitars as much as some others do. But no, he just gets there and plays guitar, says, hey. And, but again, at the festival, you see the walking around. He was smiling. And I mean, you know, he's just a regular guy. That picture that you liked on their feed of him just going skiing, like they posted on Dinosaur Jr. Instagram. He's just in this like crazy, likes purple a lot. He likes like loud colors for being a soft guy. He wears a lot of very loud clothes.
Isn't there a famous purple dinosaur?
I guess maybe there is. Yeah, he does like the color purple. But he's like, he talks like I've listened to some interviews and he's like, yeah, I go out for bicycle rides. And then, you know, like, so he's a cyclist. He's a Buddhist. I don't know. I think he's a yogi, not a Buddhist. Like he's a Eastern
philosophy, so to speak.
Yeah. Straight edge since 82. So, you know, he's just this guy. And yeah, I think that it's great that he's less controlling now. Lou could forgive him. Murph can just keep time. And yeah, it's great.
Nice. And still going strong. And like last album, pretty solid.
Yeah. So they've said in a interview this time last year, Jay said that he was asked what he's working on. He says, oh, another Dino album. That would be the drop hint of that. And then when he was pushed, he said it was about 1% complete. So maybe we'll get one in the next few years, you know. And Lou said it's Jay's band. When he's ready to record something else, I'll be there, right? So, yeah, we can look at that. And they're touring. You know who they're touring with this year in the summer? They've got a big North American
buddy. Didn't I send it to you?
That's a one-off.
Oh, okay, sorry.
They have a regular co-headlining with season 1, episode 5.
Season 1, episode 5. Working on it. Band of Horses.
Band of Horses.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so they're going to be singing in a drawer together. And that would be a good show. Too bad they're not coming to our neck of the woods.
Yeah. That and a lot of bands aren't coming to Canada these days.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
So how popular are they, Renee?
Well, here again, Sean, ask any of my friends or family and no one, I tell you, they'd never heard of them.
But how many monthly listeners?
They have 700,000 monthly listeners.
So you use the S word for a seminal band. Is that enough?
Well, I would argue that it doesn't really matter. That number specifically doesn't matter. What matters is, did they have a sound that was unique? Yes, check. Did they influence a lot of other bands? Yes, check. Did they influence bands in their era at the time, like a Sonic Youth? Like Sonic Youth, they toured with Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth hated them the first time, but then liked them second or third time. And I think that's why they got signed on to... I think that's why they got signed
to SST?
Right,
Okay.
right.
I'm sure they would have wanted to go to SST.
Yeah. So I would say that's what makes the band seminal.
Okay. So we agree. They're an ear shifter band. And what I think they are is because they're loud, but it's not just loud for aggressive. It's loud for the feel, for the emotion, right?
Yeah, which is an outlier for you, dude, in terms of like lyrically, you're like, yeah, they're fine, whatever. But I'm really here for the feels, which is my thing. So interesting.
Yeah, I think you like, to me, I feel it in my chest before I think about it in my head.
Wow, that's cool. I like that.
Like the other thing about why we like bands, they are a collision of genres that shouldn't fit, but somehow do. You mentioned the rock and roll, the hardcore
Classic rock.
roots.
Yeah. There's some country in there, I think, even.
They were influenced by the Meat Puppets, yeah. The nasal vocals, that, the instantly recognizable guitar sound. When he plays on other artists, you can tell it's him playing. So, they created that own identity. I totally agree. And I think they're continuing to influence. But I think the best thing is it's a forgiveness story, right? Where friendship is as important as the music, right? They've made good music and they're friends and they're still touring. And that's what I love, that redemption arc.
I like that too, like very much, because there's a lot of bands that don't do that or can't get through that. Most famous being probably like Pink Floyd, the Beatles, like just couldn't do it, right?
Yeah. And it would be a shame to throw away a 40-year friendship, don't you think?
I agree, my friend. I agree.
Yeah, it's pretty good to be looking over at somebody and going, like you don't have to say a lot, then you have a lot to say. And it's pretty good. Okay, well, I think that's a pretty good summation of Dinosaur Jr. So what are we going to hear next time?
Well, next time, Sean, we're going to hear a band that we also both love. And not only that, but the band had so much chutzpah, for lack of a better term. They not only did albums under their band name, they actually did an album under a pseudo band name as well. And that album was also good. So this band is kind of on fire. They're from New York City, I think Brooklyn specifically.
Yep. And they're pretty punk rock.
They're pretty punk rock.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Okay. Till next time.
Till next time. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Ear Shifter. Tune in next time where we'll cover another band that deserves more. You can find Ear Shifter on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Friend us or listen to our playlists on Spotify and visit earshifter.com for more information. Special thanks go to our logo designer, Stuart Thursby, and our intro-outro music by Joe Novak. You can find him as Bye Bye Badman, one word, on SoundCloud. And a big shout out to Joe for being our awesome sound engineer / editor. Until next time.